Okay.
So I was going to reiterate, she knew nothing about you at all.
Except your name.
Except your name. That's the only thing that was on her calendar. She likes going in knowing nothing. And she knew that you were living in California, but had a house here in Texas. I just mentioned that. So all she knew about you, she knew nothing about your background. Nothing. So you need to know that. Nothing. Because people are sometimes saying to me, I think we're going to have to try the phone.
Oh, no, she's back.
Oh, there you are. You're back.
Yeah, I don't know. It froze up and then it comes back.
Yeah.
So how far did you hear with Priscilla?
That she knew nothing, that Kathy knew nothing about you. Other than you were living in California, you have a house in Texas.
Yeah.
That's it. So you know that, I mean, I was just filling her in that used to be a vice president at AFES. And I explained to her what that is. And that you're a provost, right?
Say that again.
Are you? Is your title provost? Are you a provost?
Wow.
Provost and senior vice president at Cal Southern.
Woo! Well done.
Yeah, but it's not all that it's cracked up to be.
Don't you worry. God's got doors for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just, wait to see what he's getting ready to do.
Yeah.
There was something that Kathy wanted to tell you, because I wanted to take these recordings, even though they're kind of split up, and send them to you so you can listen to them over and over.
Yeah, it's really important. Like what I found is that, like I trust that God is speaking, right? But it's not what I say. It's what he says in between what I say. And so it's really important that you continue to listen to this, because he will, by his grace, open up and speak to you directly more than what I say. And so just continue to listen to them. So like if you're, even, at the view, when you're sitting and just contemplating him, if you listen to them, these recordings, and just contemplate him and ask him to speak more than I speak.
Oh, I absolutely would do that. I'll do that.
Yeah, and he definitely will.
Absolutely.
And he kind of like opens up layers and more revelation for you.
I believe that. I was going to ask if I'm going to be able to get a copy of the recording, because that'll be so important for me. I tried to capture some of it, but not everything. And I'd love to hear it over and over and over again. And during my quiet time, I can sit and I can, think about what's being said and what I believe that the Lord is speaking also.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we've got 3 of them.
That's okay. Maybe I can get somebody to slice them together or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. Sometimes you can do that. You can get them. Is it on YouTube? Is it YouTube?
Yeah, that's where I'll convert it over.
So I asked somebody if they can pull them together for me.
So just a question, was there anything I said you didn't understand?
Well, there was a lot that you said, quite frankly. I'd have to read through my notes. Nothing jumps out at me that I didn't understand. I think I was going to ask, I did write a note to ask, but you did answer it. I think I wrote a note here that you answered it.
Okay, good. Is there anything that you wanted to hear specifically from God that I didn't hit? Don't tell me what it was, but was there anything that you wanted to hear that wasn't kind of even a little bit covered?
In a way, I would say yes, and then I want to say no. And let me explain myself. Because, you always kind of reflect on where you're at right now. And you are we locked up again?
No,
we hear you.
Are we locked again? Oh, okay, there we are. In a way, I don't know if you heard me say this. I want to say yes, and then I want to say no in this. Sometimes you just want to know what was going on where you are right now and why.
Yeah.
And And I don't think that I need to know. I think that I just need to, I think as you were speaking, I just wanted to hear the voice of the Lord and just know that it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I can actually answer that though. Specifically, you know, like the previous season has been very hard. It's been good, but it's been very hard. And what God wants to do is transition you out of that now. And the transition, especially when you've been in a really tough season, and God wants to move you into a very new season.
You said something earlier though that stuck with me, and you don't realize what you were speaking to, because I was very, very close to a person, and I don't usually get really close to people. I don't. You know, I have a limited number of people, but I did allow it, and she just, I was her confidant. I was there for her through her toughest times. And I mean, you know, you wouldn't, the times that she went through, I was there. And it's
and that won't,
it was really shocking, some of the things that she did. I was really hurt by it. But I thought, okay, you know, it's fine.
I saw that. I didn't want to go into that place, but I saw your heart be broken. But that won't happen again. Won't happen again.
But usually the reason I say it won't happen again is because in my own flesh is that I won't let it. Because I'll put up, you know, and I just thought, why, after I had done so much and had been very loyal and supportive and just, I mean, she was just blatant in some of the meanness and
but also to understand that the goodness of God for you, in the grace and the mercy for your loyalty, is that He's giving you an armor bearer that you're not going to have to pat on the back. You're not going to have to affirm. You're not going to have to do.
That's what I had to do.
Yeah, and you're not going to have to do that now, and you can let your guard down because they will lift the guard up for you. And it's just going to be just an organic thing, and you see, the thing is that when you're doing the affirming and you're building the relationship, right? There's a real bond there. But what's going to happen with this one is this one's going to build the relationship. This one's going to prove themselves. And you don't have to do anything about it. That's the grace of God and His gift to you for your faithfulness and your loyalty. So it's going to be fine. But what I was going to say about the transitional season is that it feels like you lost a connection with God. It feels like, did I backslide? Did I do something? Is God disappointed? Like it's dry and dull and empty and hard. But this is God, because so the enemy is right there to try and discourage you and you know, disappoint you and lie to you, condemn you. But the people of faith, which you have great faith, eventually come to the point where they're like, you know what? I trust God. And they start to get hungry for God. And so those who navigate the transition and move to the promised land, which is where you're heading to, are those who refuse to listen to the lies of the devil anymore. I didn't backslide. I didn't do anything wrong. My heart is still the same as it's always been. And right?
Yeah.
And so this is where God's taken you, because He's going to take you through many, many, many transitions, one upon the other. When you learn this one, you learn it well. The minute that you start to feel like, did I do something wrong? It's like God's gone quiet. It's hard. It's dry. There's no fun. This is empty. Then you go, aha, I'm in transition. And He'll move you quicker and quicker and quicker. So your only job right now is to absolutely say to those lying spirits that have tried to tell you that you did something wrong. I did not. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on being hungry, because I'm going to the next level. I'm going to the next place. And that's what he wants us. He wants us hungry to move us to the next place. And so, you know, unfortunately, the transition is like going around the mountain, round and round and round and round. And we go round and round and round and round until we realize, oh, I'm in transition.
Yeah.
So a lot of people never transition. They go around the mountain for the rest of their lives. But well done, because you're going to transition quickly, and then you're going to transition through many, many more layers. Because remember, the sandwich, every layer is another transition, and you're going to transition through them really quickly. And those transitions are for the things that you've been waiting for. And that hit that you took from that friend was a Jezebelic hit. But you see, sweetheart, it's the rod that rules the nation that is given to those who overcome Jezebel. Well done. It's going to open nations to you. Well done. Right? And you had to go through that, because sometime in your past you asked him for the nations. And you had to go through that and overcome. For those who overcome, he gives a rod of iron to rule the nations. Revelation 3, read it. And you'll go, wow, God, thank you. But you're not going to have that again. And nobody will break your heart like that again. And not because you won't let it, but because God won't. Amen?
Amen.
So it's good. Your future is good. It's going to be great.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank him. Yeah? He's the one who knows you intimately. Hears your heart and your cry.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate this time. I have to get something.
You're welcome. But yet you don't, because he catches every tear.
Huh?
You don't have to get something, because he catches every tear.
Yeah. I'm just, yeah. I do, when you said Jezebel, wow. That's something that came to me a while back. It was just, I just didn't understand some of the things that she did.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's fine.
And you also realize that it was a demonic assignment.
I will tell you that the attack was so strong that I kept saying it's spiritual warfare. So I need to keep standing, and I'll keep standing. Yeah. So I was praying, I mean, literally, I was praying against satanic attacks, because that's how it became. Yeah. I didn't understand the turn. I don't know what triggered it.
What triggered it is her. Jealousy, right? And like Jezebel in the Old Testament was jealous for more. She wanted what everybody else had. And understanding that, when you have this hit, it's like the dark night of the soul. And a night is not a night. It's a season. And it's a dark, dark, cruel season. And just like Elijah, when Jezebel turned her face towards Elijah, man, he wished he could die, and was terrified, but God, and like, you'll be able to look back at this now and go, thank you, God, because you asked them for the nations, and the only way you can have them is to go through that.
Yeah, I truly believe that. I know that I grew out of that situation, and I knew that I've always been the person that would speak life into others and to lift them up, and I did the same for her as I would do for anyone else.
Yeah. So you overcame.
I am.
Get into that. I think it's the Church of Thyatira. I think so. Get into that and read it. And it will really encourage you that he was just answering your prayers.
Okay. I will. Thank you.
Good. You're welcome.
So I just, this is very humbling for me. Last year, Kathy was telling me a type of thing to do to increase the prophetic in my life. And so she said, well, take 50 names. Okay. Remember the thing? 50 names. I did 109 names because that's what came to me. I jotted them down. And what it was is basically I had a name on a piece of paper and a number attached to it, but I didn't track who was with who. And I started that last year, but anyway, when I could, I tried to work on it. And the whole thing was just to look at a number. So I didn't know male or female. I didn't know anything. And then I knew them, but I couldn't remember after a while who I knew because I know a whole lot of people.
Right.
Anyway, and so I did it. It was super scary all the way through when I did it because I'd sit down and I'd say, Lord, I'm totally outside of my comfort zone. Tell me about number 46 or tell me about 89 or whoever it was. And now Kathy here is like ultra prophetic. So she did this for herself, but she's like that. And then she'd do a prayer. Me, I got one little thing on somebody and I'm like, yes, if that's you, Lord, this is really kind of funky and weird, but okay, I'll write it down. And then I'd write out a little prayer like 2 sentences long. Okay. So I went to read yours and I'm like, well, I'm going to just step out there.
And I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you. But I want you to know there is full liberty to say, hey, Priscilla, you were on crack that day. And you had pizza the night before. You had the flu. It's okay. Will it hurt my feelings? Maybe a little bit. I mean, honestly. So
it's only going to hurt her pride, and it's of the devil anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it'll only hurt my pride. That's exactly right. I've fallen on my pride many times, and it hurts all the time. So anyway, and I kept seeing, for the most part, a lot of people, I saw pictures, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, Lord, that's so weird, but okay. So you were number 76.
Oh, wow. 76. Wow.
So I just was like, and everybody was in different orders. The first person I ever worked with or wrote something was like 65 or something. So
okay.
It was just in a bowl.
Yeah.
I pulled it out for the morning.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, number so-and-so. Oh, Lord, help me get through this so that we can be done with this for the day. Anyway, it was nerve-wracking. So I said, okay, I see a train. I see the front of the train. And it's like the train is you. I'm talking to number 76. And it's alive. And it's almost like a cartoon figure, but not in a bad way. But like you see in the locomotive, choo, 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 choo. And I go, and you're on the right track. It's full steam ahead. All the engines are working. It's okay to step out, to go further. And even if it seems to be a mistake, go for it. And, if it's a mistake, it's not, what am I trying to say? It's okay if it's a mistake and you're going for it. Because he'll just kind of write you on the right track, right? But you're going forward and he can work with you. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, so she's like, oh, make sure you write out a prayer. So remember I said my prayers were like 2 sentences long. Because it was like the end of my, okay. So I said, thank you, Lord, for the new adventures you're taking 76 on. That this is a time of exploration for blessing 76 works, for the works of your hands. That he's blessing the works of your hands is what I meant. And giving favor to number 76. Anyway,
well done.
That.
Well, thank you, Priscilla. I've always valued your word. You remember I said to you, the reason I decided to come to California because God spoke to you and you called me that day as I was driving, and I started to laugh. Do you remember that when I said,
yeah, I forgot.
Oh my God, I said I had not heard from the Lord and I wasn't going to accept the job or anything. And I didn't tell you anything like that while you were talking. Mm-mm. And I knew that the Lord had sent you, because the way you called me that day, if you recall, you found a card from Tanya or something in a box. You called her to figure out how you knew her. And she said, oh, it's because we met at lasharnda's. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, so this is, and what's so funny about it is that the person I was supposed to give my answer to, I had asked her 7 days so I could pray and ask the Lord if it was the right thing, and I didn't have an answer. And so he called that day and said, he let's talk in a couple of days, because he had a meeting to go to. So he canceled a meeting, and that was good because I hadn't heard. And then that next day I'm driving home, and I get a call from Priscilla, and she gave me the word, and I knew that's what I was supposed to do. Ever since I came out here, I was like, oh my God.
Sorry. At least I get to be a part of the answer of you coming out of it, huh?
But I can tell you that it's been a growing season, and I do believe that it was for me to come out of things were comfortable in Dallas, same connections, very comfortable, and to the point of maybe you becoming complacent. So the Lord will move you out of that place to kind of shake you up a little bit, right? And that's what he's done. And so he put me over at Hope, and I had a great time there. But that was, do you remember using the word small pond? And do you remember that? And, sometimes, do you want to be a big fish in a small pond, or do you want to be in a pond where you can grow? We were talking about the koi, remember? Mm-hmm. And so the Lord has opened doors, and this door opened, and I walked through it. And even in the most difficult times, I've certainly learned so much that I know that God is going to use and has used to his glory. So now I'm just waiting for this transition and see what he's about to do. So yeah, this has been, you have no idea how thrilling this has been for me today, and how this has touched me, and it encourages me, and it's just confirmation of some of the things that I believe that he's spoken to me in the quiet times. I'm going to be meeting with some people on Wednesday. Actually, I didn't even know if I was going to be able to maneuver the time, because they wanted to both talk to me at the same time. So we were able to kind of make some changes there. So let's see what comes out of that, and let's see what God's about to do. So I'm just going to wait and be able to tell you my story after this is over. After this chapter's closed, it's time for the new one.
Yeah, it's going to be a great story. Get ready to write a book.
Yeah. Yeah, I do write books. Yeah. Yeah, so I hope to see you all soon, face to face, though.
Yes, yeah.
So when are you all going to be in Dallas again, or when are you going to be in Huh?
She's here for a couple of weeks. Go ahead.
How long?
Yeah, I'm here for till the end of the month. Then Canada, Israel, Norway, and home. So
you're going to Canada from there in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So I'll be there from the 1st till the 8th, then Israel.
Okay, and then you'll be in Israel. How long are you there?
9th to the 18th.
And you're in Norway for what, 18th, 19th?
18th till the 5th of November, then I go home.
So I'll be in Paris the 26th through the 26th of October. Are you back then?
That's when I'm in Norway.
You're in Norway then. Yeah. And I don't come back here until November 3rd.
Yeah, I travel on the 5th or 4th.
Are you traveling back to the States, or are you going somewhere else?
I'm going to Australia. Probably won't be back in the States till maybe.
Where will you be in January? I'll be in Africa in January.
Oh, I'll be in Uganda, I think, in January.
So I'll be in Cameroon and.
Oh, Cameroon's not far from Uganda.
So we intend to be there for a couple of.
Are you taking a group?
No, I'm going to be speaking over there. I'll be speaking to a group of scholars, and then I'm speaking to their government officials. And I was just wondering if there's an opportunity for us to be able to meet.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Likely January. What sort of date in January?
January the 4th.
Oh yeah, that sounds like good timing for me.
It's going to be. It's going to be January. Hold on, I messed up. Looks like it's January 6th through the 20th.
Okay. And you're going to be in Cameroon all that time?
No, there's another place I'm supposed to go to. I need to look at the name of I need to look at the itinerary to tell you. I can give it to Priscilla.
Yeah, send her a message.
And then I can give you that information. And then, but you won't be back in, I'm just, if I transition, I'll be traveling more.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, well, he gave you the nations, right?
So there'll be greater opportunities. Are you ever in India or in Sri Lanka?
No intention to be there just yet, but
okay.
That might open up. So
it could open up.
Open it up for me.
Yeah, I'm going to say, because maybe you can, Dr. Peters and I go there once a year and speak in their leadership conference. That could be an opportunity for you.
Yeah, wow.
But they're believers.
Yeah.
They're believers. So
you've got your MBA, your master's degree. And did you do anything in seminary at all?
Everything's been in business or organization management.
Okay. So you have she's Dr. Beckwith. She's got her PhD.
Right.
And is it in business or business management?
Organization and management, specializing in leadership. Why? What's up?
I couldn't remember all the nuances. So I was just letting her know.
Yeah.
So what I do other than
and what I love is when she said the part about marketplace, because all of my writings on marketplace ministry. Did you know that?
No, I knew nothing about it.
Nothing.
Okay.
And so what I do when I'm not doing ministry is I do financial funding for national development for emerging or economically challenged nations.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Tell her a little of what you're doing in Uganda, because that's really opened up.
So I've been working in some of the islands in the Pacific, and then I got introduced to a Dr. John Malunde, who's World Trumpet Missions in Uganda. And so I called him, I think it was at the beginning of the year, and told him that we had funding available for Uganda, blah blah blah, and he was just like, oh, thanks very much, see you later. And then he called me again about 6 weeks ago and said Israel wants to do a joint venture with Uganda and then the rest of the African nations in a reformed kingdom style kibbutz. And because that, the more they're being westernized or colonized, they are losing their community. And so, he said, can you access the funding? And I said, yes, I can. And so I went there. I only got here on Friday. It was a week in Uganda. And yeah, just the doors that opened up were ridiculous. Like with the
we're going to have to talk, because one of the things that Dr. Peters and I have done in India is build micro businesses for poverty, the real poor people of India, generally down in the villages in the southern part. But one of the things me and Dr. Musa was just talking about, looking at in Cameroon, was putting a university in place there. Right. So one of the things that we've been doing since 2014, we've been going into, well, I just got back from Ukraine and Romania back in, actually 1 year ago, August. And we, in addition to doing all of the leadership training and that type of thing, we also help them with strategies of putting together micro businesses that'll help ministries become self-sustaining.
Yeah.
So
that's our vision too, right?
Yeah, right.
Right.
And
so let me Cameroon. As far as I'm aware, they already have the first funding package, but that doesn't mean to say we can't get another one for the university.
Or even if it's not even funding, it's about putting minds together in collaboration to try to help people understand different processes that'll help them be successful. You know, help people. I almost call it corporate social responsibility, help people understand how to better their environment, how to better the economy for the people within their villages, how to better the livelihoods of the folks, you know, we were in the Yucatan, way back in the Yucatan, and we noticed in some of the villages, we put pig farms in place there. But you could see from one village to the next, there would be a skill set that people could use in one, but because they weren't relatives or whatever, one group was, for instance, evangelical, another group was Catholic, and they wouldn't talk because of that. And so we were trying to show them how they could pool their resources and work together. They could grow the pig farms in their area that would feed the community rather than them buying one pig, slaughtering it and eating, you know, for a day. So we were able to do that successfully in one village, but in this other village where a woman was making handmade habits, you know, I mean, we went in and bought stuff for giving her money, but the local people from Cancun would come in, pay her pennies for it. Now she's taking days, you know, handmade hammocks, paying her pennies for it, and they're going into Cancun, selling them for, you know, $100 or so, making 5, 6, 7 the profit that she's done. And we were trying to explain this concept to her. So I've always said, Dr. Peters and I, and Dr. Carter, where we say, I don't care how educated you are, we bring it down. And because we're in ministry, let's go in and meet people where they are and help them see to see how they can use their skill to better their lives.
Wow. So that's exciting.
It is exciting. So it's just something to think about, where people can come together and collaborate on ways to be able to do something like that. Well,
the other thing that we can do in some of these nations, you know, maybe we can work together a bit, is establishing community banks, because most of these economically challenged nations, when you try to do microloans, their interest is exorbitant.
Absolutely.
And there's no mentors attached to it, and they don't know what to do. So
we literally come out of our own pocket to give them microloans. So what we've done, me and Dr. Peters in particular, and actually Josh Weiss, where we would, when we would fundraise, we would literally put a pot of money aside, knowing that that's what we were going to leave with the villagers when we were leaving. So it'd be great if we could come up with some other process.
Absolutely.
We could do something different.
Definitely. So we work at a government level, where the government has to agree, because otherwise there's just problems. Right. And so we come in and offer them solutions, you know, like we do large project solutions that might be, you know, $200 or $300 million. And that's basically, we're going to give you this, but you're going to give us the opportunity to build your communities.
That sounds wonderful. So I look forward to, I'll give you some times or something, and hopefully we'll be able to get together.
Definitely.
And Priscilla?
Just text me or email me some of the days and times.
I'll send you an email with some dates and times.
All right.
That sounds wonderful.
Good. Woohoo.
Awesome.
Well, don't forget to send me my videos.
I won't. I'll work on that probably tomorrow afternoon. I may not.
Okay.
Tonight.
Okay. Well, it was nice meeting you.
Lovely to
God bless you, and God bless you too, and may His face shine on the both of you.
Amen.
And you know, it's so wonderful that you are being used of the Lord as you are. It's always, you know, He'll use us if we're willing.
That's right. He will, and He's
So,
gonna. More.
Bye, ladies.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.